All right, everybody, welcome back. Another exciting show going on for you guys. This is Brian from thelegalelbow.com.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook.
Tonight we got a stacked show for you guys. Stick around, take a seat,
grab a brew,
and get settled in, man.
You know, we're getting word out of from Bellator that they just signed Phil Baroni. You know, and I don't know when I seen him last. I think it was on Dream or something like that. But his record is 15-17. You know, and it's
colossal, man.
You have a little bit more of some substance you could stand on when you bring in even a Tito, a Rampage, and a Congo, because their record proves that they're still decent fighters. But Phil Baroni, you know, he's coming in with a 15-17 record. He's taken away from we've discussed this before. He's taken away from a younger fighter's chance to go in and prove himself. You know, this guy is, in all accounts, done.
Yeah, I mean, even like 5 years ago, he didn't look very good. I don't know what the guy's done recently. You know, I don't know what he's done in the last couple of years. Jason Guida, if you take a look at his record, you know, and kind of what he's been doing the last couple of years, things aren't really looking that great. You know, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's just a surprise. It's like, why? Same with Phil Baroni. Why are they signing these guys?
Yeah,
it's got to be for star factor, but it's like, where's the star factor at here? Where's the star quality going?
When you see Phil Baroni come prancing out with some fucking big old goggles on or something on, you know, you're like, are you going to jump up and say, yes, I could see him getting back to 500?
His teammates might. That's about it, man.
I could see him getting back to 50%. You put him on a pay-per-view, you say, I'm paying to watch Phil Baroni.
Wait, Phil Baroni's on the pay-per-view?
No, I'm just saying, you know, if you did, they just signed him. So if you did, then you'd be like, I'm paying to see Phil Baroni, you know, who has a losing fucking record. You know, it's like, my major bitch is about other younger guys. Muggsy. All this talent that he talks about constantly, about coming out of Michigan. You know, all these guys that are multi-champions that I know that are thinking pro, any of them are thinking like big top, you know what I'm saying? They're thinking UFC and shit like that. They're thinking, just get me in the fucking door. And that goes for any state, any top guys in any state. No, sir, we just signed Phil Baroni. You're going to have to fight a couple more years, you know, back where you're at. That's what I'm thinking. You know, it's like, dude, how many years has Phil Baroni been fucking fighting for? You know, come on. We've seen him in Pride. He was in Pride.
Yeah. At this point, it's like, what have we seen from Baroni? I mean, he had a good fight with, I think it was a couple of years ago, in UFC. He had a good fight with, like, it was Brad Tavares. Okay, here we go, people, right here. UFC, the last time UFC has seen Phil Baroni was he lost to Amir Sadallah, UFC 106, which was Ortiz versus Griffin. Oh my gosh, 2009, the end of 2009, and then he lost to Brad Tavares, early 2011. KO knees and punches in the first round. Since then, he's gone 4-2. So, and there's a whole lot of has-beens on that list, too. He fought Nick Nolte, and he beat Nick Nolte. I got to give him
fucking
that.
A, man. Nick Nolte's a badass, too, man. I remember him in Beverly Hills fucking Cop. Or, no, not Beverly Hills Cop. What was he in with Eddie Murphy?
48 Hours?
Yeah, 48 Hours, man.
Yep.
He was
great.
Dude.
I think you do know where Gans is.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
Well, anyway, people, shit, man, we're going to get back to it, man. Enough about Phil Baroni. It's just really, really shocking and surprising. His last 5, he's 1-4. So it's no surprise he took on Tito Ortiz. You know, what was Tito Ortiz? 1-4, I think, as well. Maybe 2-3.
Phil Baroni, I wish him the best. He's signed, so I hope he goes in there and fucking does well for himself. Fuck, but
yeah, get a fucking paycheck out of it, dude. Fuck yeah, man, for sure.
Just don't get hit in the stomach and fold over in the fucking first round.
Yeah, no lawn chairs.
Everybody's like, well, you got fucking paid $60,000 for folding up like a lawn chair, like you said. But anyway, man, let's move on to a few other news notes. We got some shit talking. Diego Sanchez is coming out saying fucking punches from Gilbert Melendez were little nothings, like tap punches. So he's doing a little insulting there. We got some other news with Anderson Silva throwing some kicks at a exercise ball, which to me is rather amazing compared, to what we've seen at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, with him breaking his fucking leg. So it's encouraging.
Dude. It's barely 3 months ago, really. I mean,
we get some other news like Hector Lombard saying that talking some shit. Jake Shields coming back and he's saying that he can't stand and bang with Hector, and we all know Jake Shields and what he brings. Some people could say he's a boring fighter, but
Jake Shields, I think, is the thing that's cool about Jake Shields is he's a fucked up match for anybody. Just you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he's I shouldn't say he's a fucked up match for anybody. He's a fucked up match for certain types of fighters. He can really bring a fucked up game and just confuse bangers, and take, and find a way to get him down and submit him, like in a Dan Henderson, a perfect prime example, which, that's a couple years ago and it's a different time, but still, he's proved to still be on the map, with some of his performance in UFC, even though I think he's done a little bit worse than he's done better. You know what I mean? But I still buy the guy a lot of credit because
he's got a game plan and he sticks with it every time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And he's still a really, really good fighter. I mean, he's still really, really good. He's
looking to take you the full distance, basically. Ground and pound, point you, whatever he's got to do. But if you look at his resume, he's taking you the distance for the most part.
Hour and a half ago, Johnny Hendricks didn't make weight. Holy shit. You know what I mean? So, and he's never had a real problem with weight as far as I know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But it's not like I tune into every stinking weigh-in. You know what I mean? So, if he's had problems in the past with weigh-ins, I don't know. But, so Johnny's scale might have gotten damaged at the local gym earlier today, Dolce said, which is Johnny's nutritionist. Which, of course, he's going to say what area he has to say. And then he comes further to say, we did light workout and the weight fell off easily. So that's what he had to say about it, I guess. But, hey, they reweighed him and everything's good. He was 171.5 on his first attempt, 170 on second attempt. So look at this, though, man. You got all these guys right here. I'll tell you what, the welterweight division, UFC needs to stop doing fucking shows on the welterweight division. If you want to do some more little fucking candy-ass tough shows, cut the fucking welterweight division because this is... I'm just going to go ahead and fucking say it right here. I'm not going to hold anything back. Johnny Hendricks, 170. Robbie Lawler, 170. Carlos Condit, 170. Tyron Woodley, 170. Jake Shields, 170. Hector Lombard, 170. Okay, man, those are all fucking top dogs at 170. Okay, if you go to the UFC's webpage, even if you want to consider knocking off 10 people because they if you were in the UFC in the last 10 years, they're going to list you as a fighter on their page. So they have not like 90-some fighters or 100 plus at this point, who knows, in their welterweight division. So even if you knock off 10 of those, you got maybe 85. 85 fucking fighters in the welterweight division. What do you think that the heavyweight has? If you're lucky, the heavyweight has high 20s. Or like 25 or 26. because there's still some guys on there that aren't on their roster anymore, but they still continue to post them as on their roster because they just want to keep the roster pumped up. You know what I mean? You know, light heavyweight is a fucking joke. I mean, it's probably even worse. There are so many guys in the light heavyweight division. Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz. They're all, well, maybe not Tito Ortiz. I don't know. Out of spite, they might have fucking deleted him. But Forrest Griffin, still listed. They're all fucking still listed, man. It's ridiculous. It's just, I don't know, man. That's just something I wanted to throw out there, man. The welterweight division is stacked beyond belief. Like I said, man, Jake Shields, Hector Lombard, Carlos Condit, Tyron Woodley, Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler. Those 6 fighters are on this one card, and they're all welterweight. It's a fucking UFC should be called welterweight division fighting championships. At this point,
You know?
it's really kind of ridiculous, man. It's like, cut it out with the fucking welterweight shit already. Dana already said, fucking George, I guarantee you George is coming back. He didn't say that, actually. He said, I know for a fact George is coming back. I guess they got together, sat down and talked about it or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, they know
talk about fucking money.
Yeah, probably. You know, George is like, well, I want fucking $70 million for next fight. No, I don't know. But I mean, it's, come on, dude. Stop fucking stacking the welterweight division, man. Get some fucking heavyweights in here. Get some light heavyweights. What are you guys doing? Stacking the welterweight division is stacked to the rafters, man. You guys have been doing pretty good with the light heavyweights. Okay,
Well, they're doing it all together at the same time because they want all these
Trying
guys
to.
to fight each other in 4 or 5 months again all at the same time. Probably, you know.
Oh, Kelvin Gastelum had a hard time too, man. Shit, look at this. Kelvin Gastelum, 172.5 in his first attempt. There you go. Same fucking weight class. 172 on second attempt. 171 on third attempt, which I believe 171 is, you know, permissible or whatever. Rick Story, 170, no problem. I hope Rick Story fucking cracks this dude's dome open. Even though I think Kelvin Gastelum's just going to fucking take him down and ride his ass and butt fuck him the whole time. I don't know. But I'm starting to get in rare form over here. I'm starting to get a little bit pissed. This is fucking getting stupid, man. Kelvin Gastelum just fucking beat, what's the karate guy that was on the last Tough Show?
Uriah Hall.
Yeah, Uriah Hall. Yeah, he beat Uriah Hall for the, what was it, season 16 or 17?
He beat Melancon.
Melancon, yeah. Melancon looked awesome in his fight before Gastelum. And then Gastelum, it's like, I don't know what Gastelum did. How did Gastelum win that fight? I don't quite remember.
I didn't see that one, but I know he smothered Uriah Hall and didn't let him do what Uriah Hall does.
Right, which is Uriah's fault, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Uriah Hall can't go into this fight expecting to have a kickboxing karate match. I mean,
That's the beauty of mixed martial arts, man. You come in showing everybody what you do. You get a guy that watches some film and says, you know what, I'm going to nullify all this striking shit. I'm going to take him to the ground.
Yep.
So, he's got to learn to.
But it's just, it's there you go right there, though. A couple more 170-pounders that are looking to fucking, Rick Story. Rick Story's been fucking battling battling, looking to get up there, and here we go. Stacked ass 170-pound division. It's like, it's like they're fucking just stacking everything against GSP. It's like, no wonder GSP's fucking rolling around in his fucking covers. And
rolling around in his Snuggie.
No wonder he is,
some croissants.
Man. He's got a fucking 90 guys coming after him. No wonder he's fucking shitting himself every night and not sleeping. No fucking wonder, man. I mean, really. But
getting up, fucking turning the light on and off 100 times, fucking rearranging his box of crayons.
He's got like total OCD over the whole damn thing. But anyhow, man, we've given that way too much time, man. I just figured I'd throw a couple of those little points there. But yeah, let's get to this card, dude. Knock this shit down.
Hell yeah. 171.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here, man. We'll be right back. Little Bellator 112, man. We're really, really totally excited about it. You could tell there's no sarcasm in my voice, but we'll be right back here. Just a couple minutes. Alright, people, getting back to it, man. Shit, I just want to point out something real quick about Bellator 112. This is amazing, too, man. You guys don't want to miss this. But Anthony Gomez coming in at 7-2, taking on Jason Guida, Clay Guida's brother, which guy's got an amazing record, man. 19, 27-2.
What?
Yeah, Anthony Gomez, 7-2, coming out of Chicago, Illinois, taking on Jason Guida, 19 wins, 27 losses, and 2 no contests. Literally, man, 19 and 27. He lost 27 times.
And I was bitching about Phil Baroni's record.
Yep.
Holy shit! We're talking, this is the shit that fucking pisses me off, man.
Why did Bellator sign this guy?
It's got to be because of the Guida. It's got to be because of the Guida name. I do not know why the fuck. I don't know why. Why would you do this? We'll harken back to all these fucking other fighters around the world that are trying to come up in this sport that are getting screwed over because we got Clay Guida's brother with a horrendous frickin' wreck, 35% fucking winning ratio, still in the sport because of the name. That's the only thing I can come up with.
That's fucking
Baroni.
Man. It's a catch weight fight at best, too. It says catch weight 215 pounds. Why is it a catch weight? Just go heavyweight, you idiot. You're over 205, you moron. Why is it a catch weight? Stupidest organization there could be. I'm telling you, people, Bellator
they're losing all credibility with me, man. They're losing all fucking credibility. I let it slide on the Rampage and fucking King Lawler fucking fight, dude. I've let it slide on the fucking Tito fiasco. I let it slide in the Phil Baroni, dude. But this takes the fucking cake of bullshit dumpster fire. Yeah. Bullshit.
They're taking on fucking has-beens.
This is my opinion on it. This is the futile last attempts of a dying organization. That's all I can say. It's gonna get. I could see Zuffa fucking buying this thing in a year, dude, and fucking disbanding it in another year, like they do everything else. Like here,
wiping their fucking
dying
ass.
Here, we're gonna help you here.
Really?
Buy it out. Fucking send the demo squad in, blow the shit up, throw some C4 on, and it's done.
But at this point, it's like I wouldn't even be surprised if UFC held back and let them go ahead and fuck themselves. I mean, really, because welterweight tournament opening round, Andrei Koreshkov, which I like this guy, 14-1 out of Russia. He's a good fighter, man. Don't get me wrong, man. We've seen a lot out of this guy in Bellator. Nishan Burrell, I believe, was an ex-UFC fighter. And this should actually be a pretty good fight because Koreshkov is really no joke, and could fuck Burrell up, man. It's a cool fight to watch. The only fight that anybody would want to see is the main event, really. The rest are, Dana, really, seriously, would wipe his fucking ass with this fucking card. There's nothing on this card that's, to be all that proud of, And I'm sure there's a fucking ton of people out there that would be like, oh, you're a fucking asshole for saying that, whatever, blah, blah. But it's like, guys, come on, man. Paul Bradley taking on Nathan Coy. That's it, man. The rest, underwear, man. Fucking wipe that shit. Wipe your ass with that shit. Wipe your ass, and it's over, man. Fucking Koreshkov versus Burrell, and obviously Daniel Strauss taking on Pat Curran. I'm gonna put a fucking. If you want to say something more on it, you can. I'm putting a stink on this one, man.
Yeah.
A stink sticker, because this fucking smells like shit already.
Fucking dumpster fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We are back loud and clear. UFC 171. We're going to kick this off with Ovince St. Preux taking on Nikita Krylov, which I think is an interesting fight because you're talking about Nikita Krylov, a knockout artist, which is just outside of his undefeated record, taking on Ovince St. Preux, man. Ovince St. Preux, which a lot of people say, OSP. OSP is badass, man. Nikita Krylov, I think, is a great technician when it comes to... I think this guy realized in his last fight, okay, you know what? Some of these heavyweight dudes getting up in the echelon here. Some of these heavyweight dudes are beginning to be a little bit much. So let me back up, reassess. And this guy moved down to light heavyweight. And I don't think he ever really did that bad at heavyweight. So we're talking about a guy that they got him listed as 16-3. I'm pretty sure he was 16-2. So I which I'm not sure. There's a lot of different sites that have fucked up listings. So, but Ovince St. Preux, just overall, man, a great fighter. A great on the ground. Good takedown defense. So I mean, it's a good. To me, it's a really, really good matchup. But I think I gotta weigh in the area of a Krylov because Krylov just seems to me like Ovince St. Preux is not defined when it comes to a serious game plan with where do I need to take this fight? Do I need to take this to the ground? Let me take it to the ground. I think he's going to be a little bit cocky and say, hey, let's keep this standing up. I think Krylov's going to correct his ass when it comes to standing up.
Yeah, so. I think OSP's best bet. I don't really know a lot about these guys, but I know Krylov got collected by fucking Sol Paleli, who is fucking badass in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he felt the fucking wrath of those big hands. But the one good thing about that is he took him to the third round. Maybe if he can take fucking OSP to the later round, he'd have a chance. But in my opinion, OSP has to fucking take this to the ground and pound, use his fucking brute force, overpower him, and watch his chin. These are two up-and-comers. This is early career-defining moments, so we'll see. They haven't really fought named opponents, and when they did, they lost, like Krylov. So this is going to be a telltale sign, and they're going to get somebody named, whoever wins this. So.
No, that's a great point, man. That's a great point. Whoever wins is going to get somebody that's really named. And that's a great point because Nikita Krylov's last fight was Walt Harris. Walt Harris's last fight was he has, in my opinion, he has no position being in the UFC whatsoever. He's got an older brother. Jared Rosholt beat Walt Harris, which I thought was I'll take you down and I'll grab a triple steak sandwich from fucking damn it, what is from Tubby's.
Subway or Quiznos? Tubby's.
Yeah, I'll grab a triple steak sandwich from Subway and loaf around on your ass. That's all he did, man. Was he loafed around? I mean, whoever signed Jared Rosholt into UFC, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind, man. This fucking guy's gonna get hammered. This guy was completely brought in as a cushion. He's a springboard, absolute fucking springboard for all the guys underneath him to just bounce off of. The only thing Rosholt has going for him, which it's Jake.
Is his name.
Well, yeah, Jake Rosholt had a name. Jake Rosholt was actually a pretty good fighter for a while there in Strikeforce. Jared Rosholt. Why UFC brought on Jared Rosholt and not Jake? Somebody,
punch dummy.
Yeah, punch dummy, man. Somebody needs to kick this guy's ass in order to get to the next step. You know what I mean? That's the only fucking reason, man, I can think of. Because,
hey, as long as he knows his place, he might be able to make a good living.
There's no reason for him not to keep it either. He should keep that fucking place. His best. Otherwise, go to Bellator. You might.
But that being said, it's bullshit that UFC knows about that and does that.
So Palele, man, I'm just to go ahead and throw it out there, man. Let's fucking look at this guy's record. 20-3, man. His next fucking like we talked about it last time with the his last fucking 5 fights, 5-0. Taking on Ruan Potts. Ruan Potts? Who knows, man? I don't know what the fuck this guy. I don't know where this dude's from, but he's 8-1. So I mean, if he, looking at the where he's from, and 8-1. I mean, depending on who he's training with or who he's, where his origin is or whatever. This guy does not have the experience of a Soa Palele. So I mean, I would think this guy's in deep water right off the get go. Taking out Soa Palele right now in his debut in UFC, shit, you're in deep fucking water, dude.
Yeah.
Soa Palele's record in his last, let's say, 7 fights. Win, Pat Barry. Win, Nikita Krylov. Win, Sean McCorkle. Win, Bob Sapp. Win, Joe Keeler. But I mean, shit, man, there's already a host of fighters that we know about. So I mean, this guy's already been on the page with some fighters that there's a good possibility that, they Sean McCorkle's no joke on the ground. People can go ahead and call him a joke, but you know what? Why isn't Bellator calling a guy like Sean McCorkle out and saying, guy, come on over here. At least you have a winning fucking record when it comes to fights on the ground. They have no fucking clue what they're looking for. You know why? Because they're fucking controlled by Viacom. But yeah, this guy's last 2 fights in UFC, Nikita Krylov, Pat Barry. TKO, KO. This fucking guy's on a fucking rise, man. So anyway, man, let's get to fucking 171, man. But people, yeah, that's what we're all about. We're all about fucking heavyweights, man. Gastelum had a hard time making weight, man. Rick Story's ready to fucking go. So Gastelum better take this shit to the ground in a hurry. If he doesn't, Rick Story's going to fucking wreck his chin. That's all I'm going to say about it. You're talking 7-0 versus 16-7. So Rick Story's still on the map as far as I'm concerned. And Rick Story could wreck this dude.
All right, we got Lombard coming in here. He's already doing okay in the UFC. I thought he was going to dominate a little bit more coming out of Strikeforce and being a champion, But he just got done taking out Nate Marquardt. Before that, he lost to Yushin Okami. And then he took out Falares. And then before that was a loss to Tim Bosch when he first came in the UFC. So he's got to string together a couple fucking wins here. And Jake Shields is going to be looking to do what Jake Shields does. That's take it to the ground and pound, try to put in some shots when he's on the ground. If Lombard doesn't stay away, it's going to be a long fight for him. He's going to have some good takedown defense, stay away from the cage because he's going to be looking for the underhook. Jake's going to do what Jake's going to do, and he's done it, since he's been a fighter. He's going to take you down and pose as well. So Lombard has to be wary of that, wary of, the takedowns. He has to have good takedown defense and stay away from having his back to the cage because he's going to wall and stall you. He's going to try to take you down, and he's going to try to do some GMP. So best bet for Lombard is just keep it on his feet because if it goes to the ground, it's over, man. There's no way.
I almost want to say, Hector Lombard could come in here and just fucking wreck Shields really quickly. And if he doesn't, he's in trouble. Lombard, I think, has been learning a lot because he has to learn a lot right now, really quick. So I would think, being that he's shattered his last opponent, which was his last opponent, Marquardt. I mean, he just fucking shattered, it folded him up like a lawn chair.
we had Marquardt winning too.
Yeah, I thought Marquardt would tangle this dude up, takedown defense, and strike with him. Take him down when he needed to, I thought.
Knees.
I thought Hector Lombard would see a whole new world, but Hector Lombard just didn't even,
He didn't want to even go there. He was just like, you know what, it's done.
It was good on Diego Sanchez's part. Diego Sanchez right now, 24-6. You can't, in my opinion, man, that's a great record. But you got a Miles Jury coming in here. Hazel Park, Michigan. This dude's ready to go. Miles Jury, in my opinion, his best idea in this fight, fucking submit this guy. I don't know. I can't really say off the top of my head how good Diego Sanchez is going to be, submission defense against a guy like Miles Jury. I really don't know, man. But Miles Jury's undefeated. I mean, this is pretty friggin' exciting to me. So,
yeah, hometown guy. Oh,
yeah,
we'll be pulling for him.
I'm gonna be pulling for him big time, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick that this will be his first loss, which it really sucks ass. But I think Diego Sanchez. I mean, really, I think the guy just. I don't think Miles Jury needs to be facing this guy just yet.
And that, like you said right here, Diego Sanchez. Let's throw him, and I want Jury to win. But he has not fought the type of talent that Sanchez has. And this, we just got done talking about putting the punch test dummies in, the crash test dummies in there to keep the poster children looking pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Working, not dropping down. Because if he loses to this guy, I don't want to see Sanchez around anymore. Okay, I want to see Jury.
Right.
Sanchez needs 2 more fights to climb back up that ladder now, in my opinion. So I don't care what the fuck his name is.
And that's generous. What you're saying is generous, in my opinion. I mean, shit.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, man. Diego's beat Catman, Thiago. He's had some good some victories.
Yeah, 24-6 is no joke, man. The guy's on the map, dude. As far as I'm concerned, he's fucking great.
Beat the Fireball Kid, took Gilbert Melendez to a decision. But you're like, okay, Miles Jury, like you said, they're throwing Miles Jury into the fucking flames right now.
Yep.
In my opinion, just exactly what you're saying.
But hey, man, we've seen worse. We've seen, like Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. This is like a similar match. You got Diego Sanchez being Anderson Silva, which. Don't get me wrong, people. I'm not comparing these two guys, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm comparing records.
Yeah, rankings and who you fought, the type talent, that's pretty good comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Diego Sanchez, 24-6, Anderson Silva, whatever it was, 34-2 or 34-4 or whatever it was. Chris Weidman was coming in like 8-0 or 9-0 or whatever it was. I think he's 11-0 now, but hey, I think he was 9-0 when he faced Anderson Silva the first time. Might have been a little bit, give or take. But Miles Jury's 13-0, man. You can't take nothing away from the guy. The guy's good at what he does, though. So I mean, I'm really actually, as much as Carlos Condit versus Tyron Woodley or the main event, I'm excited for this fight just as well, dude. This is a cool ass fight, man. This is a kick ass fight. So, but yeah, man, put a bow on that fight, man. Take us into Condit versus Woodley, man. Shit.
Hell yeah. As far as the Sanchez Jury fight, I want Jury to win just because he's a hometown guy. That would be great, and that would prove to us, hey, watch who you put in there because it might backfire on your ass.
Fucking right, man. We need to get a Miles Jury on the show, dude. That's for damn sure. He's right around the corner, dude. Shit, why not?
Oh, yeah. Fucking 15 miles away, if that.
Fucking look forward to that, people, man. Look forward to that shit. I'm sorry, though. Kick it off, brother.
No, man. Condit Woodley. This is going to be a little difficult for Woodley. Condit is top-notch. Woodley's, he's beat Josh Koscheck, which Josh Koscheck, I don't put much stock into where he's going right now in his career, and it's downward. Jake Shields, he's lost to, which that tells you right there. Jake Shields, top-notch wrestler. He's beat Jay Heron. He's lost to Nate Marquardt. So it's like, I don't know if he even has a close of a pedigree that Carlos Condit does. You know, it's not even. He's got a puncher's chance, but I see Condit having his way. You know, with Condit beating the likes of Campman. You know, he's been in there with GSP, close fucking decision with GSP. Or actually, it was a unanimous decision, but he hung in there. Fucking
beat
Rory
Diaz.
McDonald.
Yeah, fucking beat Diaz. Yeah, sure.
Rory McDonald, Jake Ellenberger. You know, so he, to me, is just the better fighter right now. And I'm going to say Carlos Condit. KO, man. I was saying he's going to knock him out. He's going to show the world that he's coming back up the ladder.
Well, you know what, dude? You know what? I think it's a pretty good throwdown there. I can't even think of the word, but because Carlos Condit, I mean, really is that kind of fighter to where he could take a Tyron Woodley to a decision. You know, he could take he took Nick Diaz to a decision. You know, he took GSP to a decision. You know, and obviously lost. But the other two he did not lose. So Tyron Woodley's best game is if I can knock you the fuck out, that's it. We've seen Tyron Woodley on the other end. Nate Marquardt knocked this guy the fuck out. But I agree with what you're saying, man. It's like Carlos Condit, obviously, what I originally thought was Carlos Condit is going to take this guy to a decision, you know, and prove Tyron Woodley, you know, you got some really good punching power and you're a powerful dude, but you got a lot of holes in your game, and you you're not here yet. I think a knockout's a damn good chance, but at the same time, I'm going to go for Carlos Condit a decision win. Just probably a decision win, but at the same time, a definitive decision win, because you can't. It's really fucking hard to knock out a Carlos Condit. That's why that guy was next to beating George St. Pierre. I mean, that's why that guy was so close, because you can't just beat this guy up. I mean, this guy will hang with you the entire time. He's got head movement. He's got, you know, he's got takedown defense. He's got everything. That's why Nick Diaz couldn't take him out. He made Nick Diaz look like, you know, whatever, dude. Whatever you're bringing, man, bring it on. All these Nick lovers come out, you know, and, you know, they might as well be called Dick lovers. No, I'm kidding. But all the Nick lovers came out, and it's like, no, guys, I'm sorry, man. Carlos Condit fucking won that fight, man. I'm sorry. You know, you can be pissed off all you want, man, but this is an uphill battle for Tyron Woodley, for damn sure. Nate Marquardt made it a point to take Tyron Woodley to the last round to beat him. There's no fucking way Carlos Condit's not going to be able to take this guy to the last round, in my opinion. Carlos Condit will easily point fight this guy to death if he has to, if he doesn't do what you're talking about, knocking this dude out. Because we've seen both ways when it comes to Tyron Woodley. So Tyron Woodley, like I said, man, it's a huge step up for him. If he's able to do it, kick ass. But he's got so many things riding against him right now. Hopefully he's got a full meal, a hope, and a prayer. You know what I mean? He better have those. Robbie Lawler coming in first round, man. Johnny Hendricks. What's your take on it, brother?
That Johnny Hendricks, he's basically tore his way through the division, and Robbie Lawler is just another target, another victim, and Johnny Hendricks wants the belt, man, and I don't think much is going to stop him. In GSP, if you look at that fight, I think we could all agree, I think he beat the shit out of GSP.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. I totally agree, man. I voiced my opinion about that shit.
Robbie Lawler, sorry, man, but you're going against a buzzsaw right now. Just try to protect your chin as best you can.
I gotta agree, man. You know what? Personally, I think it sucks. You know why? Because I think Robbie Lawler was brought into UFC at a perfect time to where he could be disposed of. In my opinion, I mean, shit. You know, you got a Johnny Hendricks, 15-2, and this guy has got jackhammers. Freaking jackhammers, you know what I mean? But, you know, well, 15-2 versus 22-9. You know, which, you know, we're looking at records here, you know, which records can't prove everything, but, you know, I think Robbie Lawler's really taken on some good opponents, some great opponents. Robbie Lawler's been forced to go in a couple of organizations that he probably didn't want to go into, and probably wanted to compete in other ones. And I think right now Robbie Lawler's found himself into a fucking shitty position, in my opinion. If I was like Robbie Lawler's coach, I'd be like, dude, we got to find some nasty, sick way to fuck this guy up. We have to do something, because this guy is on a fucking tear right now. I mean, there's no stopping this dude right now. So we have to fucking find some sick way to wreck this guy early so that he can't continue for the next whatever. That's kind of what I'm looking at. It's like the deck is stacked against Robbie Lawler, because Robbie Lawler's got age. You know, he's not old. Don't get me wrong, he's not old. But he's been thrown into a... He's not old, but he's...
long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth, but he's experienced. He's experienced. I'll give him that, man. He's experienced. I don't know, man. I mean, really, what do we really know? You know, Robbie Lawler seems to be very comfortable where he is, but of course he's supposed to be comfortable. Why wouldn't he be? You know what I mean? Johnny Hendricks is fucking dropping everybody. We've seen Robbie Lawler get dropped. How are we supposed to fucking...
Oh, he's getting dropped. He's going to get dropped again.
That's what I'm saying. How do we fucking see Robbie Lawler not getting dropped in this fight? I just don't see it. I think he's going to get dropped. But he got thrown into a fight with Roy McDonald. He won that fight with McDonald, which I think catapulted him more than he should have been.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's way more than he should have been. I think it was one fight in, he's catapulted into the fucking title shot match.
Strange things happen.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, really. I mean, Johnny Hendricks had to work a lot harder than that. Johnny Hendricks should fucking get it. I mean, really. You know, I mean, you really want to look at it. With that being said, obviously I'm a Robbie Lawler fan. So I like the guy. I'd like to see him get something, because the guy's in mid to late 30s. The guy needs to see something. Or otherwise, you know, so just UFC is just, in my opinion, using him as a stepstone for Johnny Hendricks to get the belt, and then whoever's coming up next. So I'm hoping Robbie Lawler can make a real stink here, which, like I said, man, I'm not banking on it. Johnny Hendricks is winning this fight.
Oh, hey, man, good show.
All right, man, we're out of here, man. Steadfast.
God be here.
Take it easy, people. We're out of here.